Australia's former Prime Minister John Howard, who rewrote the country's gun legislation after a horrifying massacre in the 1990s and said that he understands what Mr. Barack Obama is up against. CNN's Anna Cohen met him in Sydney.
In a beautiful remote part of Tasmania, history changed forever within a matter of minutes. Almost 17 years ago, gunman Martin Bryant unleashed horror and carnage at Port Arthur, never witnessed before in Australia. The former convict settlement turned tourist attraction was filled with visitors that day. 35 people were gunned down, more than 20 injured, as Bryant sprayed the site with bullets using semi-automatic weapons.
My memories were, disbelief, shock. It was the worst mass murder at the hands of one person using a gun until that fellow Breivik in Norway.
John Howard was the country's newly elected Prime Minister. The Conservative right-wing leader seized the moment to overhaul Australia's gun laws.
And the whole country just reeled for days afterwards. And the overwhelming feeling was, this is terrible. We had to do something about it.
Less than 2 weeks after the massacre, automatic and semi-automatic weapons were banned, gun ownership legislation was tightened, and a gun buyback scheme was enforced. Mr. Howard, wearing a bulletproof vest on the advice of his security, pleaded his case to gun rights supporters. In the end, about 700,000 weapons were handed in and destroyed.
Mr. Howard, you say that the overhaul of the gun laws is one of your proudest achievements in office.
Yes, it was, because it produced a safer Australia. And safety for families, for children, for people going about their daily lives is very important.
For Port Arthur survivor Kath Gordon, the massacre still haunts her. Battling bouts of depression, her horses are her daily therapy, but she's thankful for the action John Howard took.
To remove that threat and that disease from our society.
CNN's Anna Cohen there talking to Australia's former Prime Minister John Howard. Well, time now to take our second break. We'll be right back.
Lucozade Energy, energizing Gambia.
At EcoBank, we see a great future, one that's full of opportunity for those who want to be the best. With over 1,000 branches of a single bank across 33 African countries. It's a future where trade can flourish without boundaries. The future is breathtaking, with enormous cross-border investments helping business and government build new infrastructure, while individuals achieve their ambitions right across Africa. The future is Pan-African, and EcoBank is the Pan-African bank.
And before we go, reminder of our headlines. Gambians in the hinterland and those residing in the Cardiff municipality have staged rallies showing support for President Jammeh's position on the EU-Gambia Article 8 political dialogue. The head of state has given cabinet ministers $500,000 million to set up a loan scheme. Societe Generale de Banque Liban, SGBL, the parent company of Prime Bank Gambia Limited, has opted to divest its subsidiary in the Gambia. And U.S. President Barack Obama has delved into the values on which America was built, this as he starts another 4-year term. That's all in this edition of the news at 8. Thank you very much for your time. We'll be back, inshallah, at 2200 hours with more news.
بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون.
Good evening, beautiful viewers. We welcome you to this panel discussion with the RAC. Today I have with me Amadou Otal, Regional Electorate Officer, Kanifing. Amadou, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We salam you to the program. In tonight's edition, we'll be speaking in the local language, which is in Fula and Sarahule. Amadou, can you tell us what package do you have for us in the Fula language?
Thank you very much, Fatmata Sima. Assalamu alaikum bandila fulbe ndarobe television Gambia o wattudo e hettotobe radio Gambia. Inde chairman amen Alhaji Mustafa El Koreol min salmini on o programme amen do. Ha joni min garti do pour yewtide modon affaire local government elections mo gandanda nyalande ne nangama nyande 4 April nde hitande do. Bako adi dum non no wodi liggaaji kewdi men badata. Kono non do e min nadde hen mi do siftanora bandirabe be rek ha joni yimbe amen be jehino e police station di der leydi